Hey folks, today is Friday, October 26th, 2018. As usual, it's me, Jake Baldino, and we gotta talk about the video game stuff going on this week. Let's do this, let's get through all this stuff so then we can both go back to playing Red Dead Redemption 2. So far, it's pretty awesome. But what do we got this week? The first thing we gotta talk about is the news about an actual, just like a PlayStation 4. According to a post from user PippaCakes, it looks like him and his family fortunately survived Hurricane Michael, although unfortunately losing part of their home. But he did follow up with a post of him clearing rubble and finding under a piece of wet sheetrock his PlayStation 4, which he said completely works like normal despite getting soaked and surviving a hurricane. Judging from the photo, it clearly took a little bit of a beating. It looks like the shinier plastic part popped off, but the fact that he says that it works like he just took it out of the box is pretty incredible. Not to diminish all of the terrible things that happened with Hurricane Michael, but every once in a while it's nice to just see little glimmers of hope like your hobby surviving. So good luck with everything, PippaCakes. Thanks for showing us all the bright side of something. But moving on from PlayStation to Xbox, it looks like PC is actually going to be getting access to Xbox Game Pass. Interestingly enough, in an earnings call, head of Microsoft Satya Nadella did go on record to say that they were working on making the Game Pass subscription and services available on PC. So for those of you that don't know, Game Pass is the thing, $10 a month, and you get access to downloading a bunch of both new and old Xbox games. This is a very interesting move considering the Game Pass in itself was an interesting move to try and shake up the industry a little bit. We still don't know the actual success of it, but a lot of people are just getting access to new Xbox games as they release, thanks to having that subscription, and then also getting access to essentially a backwards compatible library. But I think this is very interesting when you think about it on PC, because it does show Microsoft's thoughts behind a lot of this, where they are trying to sell consoles, but they're also just trying to grab a piece of that PC gaming and just gaming ecosystem in general as one. So while on the outset you might look and go, oh man, this is going to make PC gamers not buy a console. The way I look at it is that maybe Microsoft is looking at this as they weren't going to buy a console anyway, so let's still try and get them paying a subscription. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Of course, coupled with that, the Play Anywhere titles, things that Microsoft has been doing, do work on both Xbox and PC, so maybe this is going to be like an extension of that. I'm very curious to see how that pans out with what Sony and what Microsoft have been doing lately to shake things up. It always just makes life kind of interesting, I guess. Also, since we always like to show cool tech, you gotta check this out. This is a demo of Unity, an engine sample called Mega City. They tweeted it a couple days ago. It's demonstrating these new tools, like it's called Entity Component System, and it's designed to build open worlds, and it's like dynamic with 200,000 unique items per building, 5K rendered vehicles, and then it's all in 60 FPS. Apparently this demo is going to be available for download in 2019. That's what they said on Twitter. It's really cool. We like to show more tech. If you're smart and you want to read up on how exactly it works, we'll link that in the description. But it's always nice to look forward to see what's coming, and if we can get worlds like this in 2019, sweet. But moving on to something really interesting and kind of stupid. This unfortunate Battlefield 5 developer, a DICE developer, was actually banned from playing Call of Duty. This is honestly like a dumb fluff story, but I think it's kind of like worth a good laugh. Gameplay designer Florian Lebihan has been excited, but has also been tweeting since Black Ops released that he got banned, apparently for like a cheating ban or a filter got to him. He says it's because he's too good and the filters picked him up.
Banned for being too good at gaming.
Hey man, you know what? If you make the games, it's cool you're good sometimes, I guess. Unlike me, who talks about games all the time, and I'm still terrible at them. It's funny because at first, and a lot of people thought oh my god, it's because of the competition. It's because he works on Battlefield and he's playing Black Ops. Of course, that's not really how it worked out, but it is nice to see people playing different things. A gameplay designer playing a Call of Duty game gives them more perspective and insight on just first-person shooters in general and what's out there. That's kind of cool. That's kind of funny. If you want to follow along with that whole little saga of his tweets, we linked it down in the description below, as well as all the other news stories I talk about. But speaking of things that are linked in the description, a couple things that you should check out. First things first, Digital Foundry always kill it. Love those guys. They did a whole breakdown of Red Dead Redemption on original PS4, PS4 Pro, original Xbox, Xbox One X. And it's really interesting. I would say, as someone who has been playing like a review copy of Red Dead, it does show areas in the game that maybe you just want to experience discovering yourself for the first time, so there's little environmental spoilers. But still, it's a really interesting analysis. I love that stuff. I just love seeing how different development studios embrace each platform. And of course, we're still holding out for the PC version here, but that's another story. But also, if we are talking about cool things to watch and look at, we also linked the final release, as dudes have been working on it for like 7 years, a Fallout New Vegas mod that is Fallout New California. This is a whole new area, a California area, with traditional Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas style gameplay from the New Vegas engine. It's pretty ambitious. So far, the response has been pretty good. It's got thousands and thousands of lines of dialogue, a ton of voice actors, so this is like a full-fledged new Fallout experience from fans if you want to check it out. Not only that, it looks like just this morning, Capcom tweeted something pretty exciting. It looks like Resident Evil 0, and Resident Evil 4 will be coming to Nintendo Switch in 2019. That is dope. I mean, I'm like really biased because I love Resident Evil. Can't wait to buy Resident Evil 4 for like the fourth time. That's the power of just porting a game to every single goddamn console. Is it on iOS yet? Did they put the whole thing on iOS?
I think so, yeah.
That's cool. That's something to look forward to. I love Resident Evil, so dope. If you are looking for some reading material, PC Gamer magazine did a recent interview with a bunch of developers from CD Projekt Red, giving little tiny, teeny tidbits on Cyberpunk 2077. They finally went a little bit more in-depth with their references other than the actual source material the game is based on. They said they have action and pulp elements derived from like Terminator and RoboCop, but then more philosophical elements from something like Blade Runner or Ghost in the Shell, which makes sense, pretty obvious references, but it's still cool to hear that from the horse's mouth. Not only that, they went into technology and how society ingrained so much in technology will actually work out in terms of how the game plays and how you interact with people, in terms of eavesdropping on people on phones or reading computers and just kind of getting dynamic quests that way. Also, they did say that in gameplay and the elements there is some room for experimentation, most notably in combat. They said it's nothing like Breath of the Wild or anything like that systems-wise, but they did say that they have had some cool moments. That's really it. Still interesting. Like I said, if you want to read it, it's in the description below. But also, I do want to talk about the PlayStation, the PSN ID name change thing that will be rolling out in 2019. We talked about the news when it broke a couple weeks back, but now that people are getting access to the beta preview version of being able to do that, a select few, there's some interesting things to note that people aren't crazy about. It's all fucked up. Like, it's almost like, what was the cost?
Change your name and it might delete all of your things.
I need to change my PSN name. Oh, at what cost? Everything.
Yeah.
Did I just meme? Did I meme Thanos? We had already known that like some games it wouldn't work with, it wouldn't register, but we have more details now. Not all applications will work with this feature. You may lose access to content, including paid-for content that you have acquired for your games, like add-ons, virtual currency, DLC, stuff like that. You may lose your progress within games, save data, leaderboard, trophies, progress. Parts of your games and applications might not function properly, and your online ID from your previous identity might still be visible. So, that's a lot. Now, it is worth pointing out that this is still being worked out. This is like a beta version of it. I'm curious to see how many of these caveats translate over, because going forward, once they finally implement that for everybody who aren't like into beta, like maybe you and me, I feel like at that point, like if you have to take those risks, I'd rather just make a new account, you know? It's hard to let go of trophies. I get a lot of in-game purchases. It really sucks, but the fact that you could also lose those trophies, what are you going to do? Stick with your crappy name. I don't know. But it's also worth mentioning, we are taking submissions for glitches for Red Dead Redemption 2. You send us your best glitches if you come across them, and we'll make a dumb video and react to them. I've come across a couple, nothing crazy, so I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys have, because I'm sure some hilarity will ensue. There's a link in the description to send us your glitches, so please do. We'd love to see what you got. We also have to do that console giveaway we do every single week now. You know how this goes. By now, I would hope. There's a link in the description. You sign up, you enter once, and you're entered for good. And then every single week, we go in and randomly choose one person to win a free console of their choice. And this week's winner is going to be this person right here. Congratulations. Be sure to keep an eye on your inbox, your spam box, stuff like that, because Tom's going to be reaching out to you to figure out how we can send you your free stuff. Godspeed, Spider-Man. Now we got to talk about all the stuff going on this week. Red Dead Redemption 2. You got your hands on it yet? What do you think? First impressions. I'm just over 20-ish, 25 hours in, and Love it. Keep your eyes out for it before you buy. I'm going to keep grinding. We got a bunch of stuff planned Red Dead wise, but let's talk about that. Let's talk about Cyberpunk 2077. Let's talk about if you ever had a console or a PC that survived a flood or a hurricane or anything like that. Any crazy stories, we definitely want to hear them. Would you be willing to take those risks to get a new username? Would you consider using Xbox Game Pass on PC? Let's talk about any of the news this week down in the comments. I'll be down there talking to you guys as much as possible. But if you got anything else for me, if you want to yell at me or anything, hit me up on social, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Jake Baldino. And if you want to catch more Friday show style shenanigans, every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, we are live on this channel. If you want to go back and watch previous episodes, we'll link that below. But also, if you go on the main YouTube channel, there's a playlist right there. But as always, I gotta say, thank you guys for coming around and watching us talk about electronic video games. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this and stuff, clicking the like button helps us out. And if you're new, you should subscribe and hit the notification bell because we put out new videos every day. But as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Pizza's on me.